Hello, hello, hello. Hey, this is Warren Redlick. I hope everybody's here. I hope this is working. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, we're all having a good day. If you are a Tesla fan, just check the stock right now. I think the stock has gone crazy already again today, up 3% again today. So the stock is approaching $240 a share. Now, we'll be talking about She Said Yes soon. So just really quick, obviously Tesla reported its numbers for the quarter. I actually didn't think the production numbers were that good. Obviously, the delivery numbers were, I guess, over Wall Street estimates or whatever. Um, the big number is the one in blue. This is the thing that Wall Street is just like. It seems like Wall Street, like the analysts, some of the analysts, some of the shorts are just whiffing on energy storage at 9.4 gigawatt hours. I believe that's more than double any previous quarter. I think the last quarter was around 4 gigawatt hours, so 8 would have been double. So this is a huge number. I'm going to go into this a little bit more. And if you're following Tesla Energy and you're following what Elon has been saying, what others have been saying, this is just the beginning. Because, 10 gigawatt hours a quarter would be what you would expect from Lathrop going forward. But there's a new mega factory in Shanghai. So this number, we should expect some fluctuation. The next quarter might be lower, but the long-term trend is the average is going to be higher than this. And the value of Tesla Energy is huge. And yeah, that Daryl points out when new Tesla models roll out, we will probably be seeing some new models from Tesla coming out. I didn't screenshot it, but I just saw a rumor today that it looks like Shanghai is preparing to manufacture around 260,000 vehicles this quarter. Yeah, I think Lathrop is near capacity, but Mega Shanghai is up and running. So there's a whole nother factory coming online. So this number will not long from now be double. And maybe a year from now, and maybe a year and a half from now, but this number is going to be double. And the value of this is really high. So let me just because I feel like people are not getting this. I don't mean that you guys aren't getting this. I feel like the Wall Streeters and others aren't getting this. So this is Larry Goldberg. Larry's another rebellionaire. I've known Larry I think I met him at Cyber Rodeo and we'd communicated before, but we really got to know each other better at Cyber Rodeo. And since then, um, but this, the value of Tesla Energy has just shot up. So Larry is predicting revenue um, will be over $900 million. Now, revenue contribution to gross profit this quarter. I'm not sure whether he means. So if you go back to my battery revenue model, the battery revenue model was $500 a kilowatt hour. So a mega pack at $500 a kilowatt hour, they're not getting $500 a kilowatt hour on Megapack. They're probably getting something more like $300 a kilowatt hour on Megapack. Well, $300 a kilowatt hour is $300,000 a megawatt hour, is $300 million a gigawatt hour. So 10 gigawatt hours would be $3 billion in revenue. So we can expect the revenue from Tesla Energy to be in the ballpark of $3 billion or maybe higher. And their gross margin on Tesla Energy before was, I think, 25 to 30%. They have lowered pricing on Megapack some, although the battery costs have been falling as well. So we may see, close to $1 billion in gross profit from Tesla Energy. And that's not something that seems to be on the radar of all the auto analysts who cover Tesla. So Larry thinks that by 2026, energy will contribute more gross profit than the auto business, leaving out FSD and robotaxi. In other words, the earnings on the cars, the revenue and profit, the gross profit on the cars, may be less than the revenue and gross profit on energy because energy is so profitable. And they're improving their margins as time goes on. They've been getting better, and so as you ramp, you get better margins. So, and then you have reserve, you have mega packs that have been out there, but they haven't counted them as revenue yet. So there's a whole bunch of, and that's growing. So there's a whole bunch of good news there. So I just wanted to say, obviously this is good news, and the stock is up. But I think some people are confused or maybe missed the full story. My personal situation is because I was concerned about the shareholder vote and the effect a no vote would have had on the future of Tesla. I trusted Elon, I trusted Tesla, I didn't trust the shareholders. That was my mistake. So I sold 20% of what I had. It was actually a little less than 20% of what I had. I bought back in 19 out of the 20%. The price was a little higher, but I paid around 182, 185 a share. Obviously, that's looking good right now as the stock price is up around 240. But did I lose? I lost basically 1% of what I had of Tesla, and I can get over that. Not, I'm not happy about it, but I can get over it. So, and when I say that, my holdings, I'm not counting the options that I have, like a small amount of call options as well, and I'm not counting that. So as the stock goes up, my call options go up fast. So, anyway, I just wanted to cover that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. Did the stock break 240? I don't really like to focus on the temporary. Stock is at 241 now. So, you guys, I think you guys know I own a lot of Tesla stock. So it's funny, like people made comments. Let me just, I posted about, I had a nice dinner. This was 2 nights ago. It's 9:10 p.m. here. So we had this dinner about 48 hours ago. And I promised the fight. This is why you should follow me on X. I did share some of this to my YouTube community page, but why you might want to follow me on X. This is one of my best. You can see this got 766,000 views. So we had a great dinner. The thread has all the dishes that we had, a little bit more information, and then it closes with a great dessert, and then she said yes. So I am now engaged to be married. This is my girlfriend Ploy, my fiance Ploy. Just to answer some questions about Ploy, because I've seen a lot of questions. No, she is not 19 years old. She may look like it, but she's not 19 years old. She's in her 30s. I'm in my 50s. The age gap is a little more than 20 years. She has a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in management information systems. She has a job. I don't want to say it's a great job, but she works internal tech support for an American company. And she works in Bangkok. And it's a lot of hours. It's the hours aren't great, and I would like her to get a better job. And I don't. She doesn't have to work. If you think about how much money I made on the stock in the last week, like it's more than she makes in her lifetime, right? I mean, it's that ridiculous. But I do think she should work because what I tell her is, well, I might die. But we are hoping to have children, and there's a lot more to it. I mentioned that she has a bachelor's in computer science, she has a master's degree in management information systems, she has a job, she has a family. Just wanted to get into this. This is a good chance for me to talk about this. And I talk about dating occasionally, and one of the things that I think I did right, okay, was number one, when a man comes to Thailand or the Philippines, it's sort of like infinite women. But in my dating experience in America was like I'd be lucky to get a first date once a month, and I'd have two or three second dates a year, maybe. And I had one girlfriend for 3 months, and that was not a good girlfriend. That's a long conversation. I don't want to shit on her, but she wasn't right for me, and I'm not sure she'd be right for anyone in a healthy relationship. That's a long conversation. But it was just really hard, and fundamentally, it's just I wasn't what American women want. I'm not trying to fault American women. They want what they want. I did have a couple women that I thought it was going well with, but didn't get past the second date with one of them. Still think she's fantastic. The other one, kind of crazy, but never got even to the second date, even though I thought it went really well. And we'd had a lot of conversations, but it just was a challenge. And I just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. So, August of 2023, I flew to Japan, lived in Japan for 3 months, dated a little bit there. It was better than America, but wasn't good enough. And then I started traveling, and I ended up in Bangkok. And dating in Bangkok is a lot better in the sense that there's effectively infinite women. That doesn't mean they're all what you're looking for. And it's a huge challenge to filter to figure out what you want, because you just have an endless stream of women sending you messages on dating apps, and then there's an endless you search, there's too many. So I filtered for education and speaking English, and Ploy speaks English pretty well. We actually just brought home for her a book to help her study for the TOEIC exam. I think she will be able to get a better job if she gets a good score on the TOEIC exam. She helps me learn Thai as well. But and then, my philosophy on dating, like once you start dating, this is important. A lot of people, their dating strategy is dinner, drink, sex, dinner, drink, sex, dinner, drink, sex, and they repeat 20 times. And that's fun, but you don't learn that much about a person if your dating strategy is dinner, drink, sex. She was more than a bit crazy. Um, so I mean, she was great, not crazy for her life, I guess, but she was crazy for my life. But so anyway, the old girlfriend. So my strategy was, and I was very upfront with this. I even put it in my dating profile what the strategy was. First date is coffee. And I was doing like some days I had 3 coffee dates a day because there's just that many women. So I'd have a date at 10 a.m., a date at 1 p.m., a date at 4 p.m. I'd arrange the dates to be coffee shops near where they lived because that way it'll be easy for them to get to, and I'd get to explore Bangkok and I learned more about Bangkok. So what does she think about Elon? She's into the tech stuff. She's got a bachelor's in computer science, master's in management information systems. We've watched the Countdown Inspiration 4 documentary together. We've been watching The Expanse. I show her my posts when Elon replies, and she reads my post, and we talk about it. We talk about buying a Tesla, or we even looked at BYDs. Where we talk about a lot. Are we on the same page when it comes to politics? I don't think she has an opinion on. She has never expressed an opinion on politics. Certainly not on American politics, and I don't have opinions on Thai politics. So I don't think we have a problem there. But so the strategy, the dating strategy, dinner, drink, sex, repeat. You don't learn that much about each other. So what did we do? Well, number one, we had coffee. Second date usually was supposed to be lunch. In her case, because her English was so good and because she didn't get much exposure to English speakers, instead of doing lunch, we went to a foreigner event, what's called a meetup in Bangkok, where there's a whole bunch of foreigners, so she could hear foreigners, not just Americans, but others speaking English in the wild. And I thought that was a good experience for her. And then third date was probably dinner. And then not long after we started dating more and after the third date, I had been dating some other women, all like first, second dates. I sent them all messages, hey, I found somebody. So we I think that you have to do more. You have to challenge the relationship. You have to do things that are different. So just as an example, we went to Vietnam for a weekend, for like a 3-day weekend. I don't know if it was a weekend, but 3-day trip to Vietnam. We went to Malaysia for a week. We did a road trip. Road trip's really important. We did a road trip in southern Thailand. I remember it was comical because I was talking about renting a car, and then we went on a 2-day trip. And one of my other big things was I need to meet your family. I need to meet your friends. I need to meet your family. She was really shocked that I wanted to meet her mother, but ultimately I met a lot of her family. I met some of her friends, and you see how the person is with their family and with their friends, and it gives you a much better sense of the person than if you just see them in the abstract. And I FaceTimed with my daughters, with her there, and I've FaceTimed with friends with her there, so she could see my relationship with my friends, and she's seen me with other friends here. I think it's important that you expose yourself to different situations. I mentioned the road trip, by the way, because the previous girlfriend, we went on a 7-hour road trip, and I wanted to kill her within 2 hours. If you can go on a road trip with somebody for 7 hours and you don't want to kill them, that's a good sign. We went on a road trip for a week, and it's fantastic. So like all the stress tests, when we were in Vietnam, walking in Vietnam, the sidewalks are just, I was getting sidewalk rage, and she was just so calm, and that helped me stay calm. And we went down a trail to a beach in Vietnam, like a steep trail, and it was challenging, and we did it together, and that was not saying we were at risk of death or anything, but it was interesting. So I think it's really important to expose yourself to those differences, and then you get a much better feel for each other. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say this because MAGA Mike says passport bros. I just want to say this. I think the perception, a lot of men have the perception that it's easy to find a woman in Thailand or the Philippines. And it is true that it's easy to find women. It's not necessarily easy to find a good woman. It's not necessarily easy to find a woman that's a fit for you. So I have definitely talked to friends, and I have talked to other people, and it is challenging to find what you want. It is a lot easier that you at least have choices, but finding what you want is difficult. Is it true that people in Asia eat whole grain rice instead of white rice? No, I don't think that's true. Um, I like the BYD Atto 3, and I like the BYD Seal. I haven't seen the Seagull. I don't think the Seagull is here. Yeah, just really quick, I'm looking at probably buying a Tesla Model Y within a few months so that we can road trip around Southeast Asia, not just Thailand, but Malaysia, Laos, Cambodia, probably not Myanmar, but we can do a lot of road tripping, especially in Thailand. And once she moves in, the cat comes out of the closet. From the mother of God, get a prenup. So there's just I think this is the third person to mention prenup. I talked to a lawyer in Thailand about whether I need a prenup or not, and I talked to him about a lot of other things. And yeah, I know. Trust me, I have a good idea what I'm doing, and I think that you guys might not know. The people who are screaming prenup might not know that much about Asia. Have I rebought my shares? Yes, I rebought my shares. I didn't buy all of it back because the price went up and I had a limited amount of cash left from what I sold. So I bought 19 out of the 20% back. So and it was really a little less than 20% that I sold. So I'm back to over 99% of what I had before. I technically have not sold the Model X. There's a guy in Florida who is driving my Model X and making the payments and insuring it. And my name is still on it, but it's really his car. I effectively sold it to him. Basically, I sold him the loan. Um, yeah, I think it was Ken says smart move getting out of the U.S. to find a woman. Dating scene sucks in the U.S. for guys our age. Um, don't give her diamonds. I gave her the diamond. This is the diamond. Nice. It's a nice ring. We plan on having kids. We are already trying to have kids. We were trying to have kids before. Is she a practicing Buddhist? Yes. We actually went to a couple of Buddhist. We went to a Buddhist temple today, and I think a Hindu temple today, even though she's not Hindu. And lots of Thai Buddhists go to Hindu temples because they're cool. Can I please restart the stream? Well, really quick, Tesla reported. Let's just cover that again for people who just came in. Tesla reported deliveries, and in particular and then the delivery number was good, but even better was the deployed 9.4 gigawatt hours of energy storage products in Q2. That is more than double any previous quarter. I think the previous quarter was the highest at 4 gigawatt hours or around 4 gigawatt hours. So they more than doubled quarterly deployment. And this is likely to lead to a much larger than anticipated revenue and gross profit for Q2. We'll find out in a few weeks, but that's and Larry, follow Larry Goldberg on X. He has a good analysis where he talks about what the contribution he thinks it's going to be. No, I am very lucky, D. I do agree that I'm very lucky to have found Ploy. Ploy is my fiance. Engaged for those who missed it, engaged. We had a dinner 2 nights ago and handed her the ring at the end of dinner. So is he South African? I thought he was Australian. I don't know. I love Larry. Wonderful guy. So, moving forward, if you look at my X account, it's Warren Redlich Chasing Dreams. So I've been chasing certain dreams, and one of the dreams was to find someone to partner with and have children with. And that is one of the dreams, to find the right person, and now hopefully to have children soon. And I should say, like, I want to mention her family before. Like, seeing with her family is such a positive. And I mentioned this on X afterwards. There's a message that comes out of the so-called manosphere or red pill community. I already had the ring. That's a long story, Phil. I did not pay for the ring. I already had the ring, and that's a long story. So, seeing her with her family, the manosphere and the red pill community will say, you don't want a woman with baggage. You want a woman who's able to, focus on you. And it's like, well, if she doesn't have a family and she doesn't pay attention to her family, then how good is she going to be of a girlfriend or wife if she's not good to her family? So you want to see her with her family, and she is committed, devoted to her mother, to her father. They're not her mother and her father are not. I don't know if they're married anymore, but they're separated at least. Um, Her nephew has two daughters who I would basically describe as her nieces, even though they're technically like great nieces or something, or great great nieces or something like that. But her brother's granddaughters, um, and she is adorable with those, and the granddaughters are adorable. It's wonderful to see her taking care of her granddaughter, her grandnieces, whatever, her brother's granddaughters, and I get to play with them, and I think it's great. And her mother is so sweet to me, even though we don't speak the same language. I am improving my Thai. I'm making progress. No, so JOR 3L says by baggage, I believe people are talking about ex-husband and kids. Yeah, they sort of are, but really they mean if she has other commitments. And my girlfriend is, she has a strong need to be near her mother. And like, my original plan was I wasn't sure where we were going to live. I was going to find somebody and we'll travel the world. And we did explore. We went. Kuala Lumpur is a nice city, probably a nicer city than Bangkok, to be honest. Japan's great. And the rough idea was maybe we just nomad, or maybe we choose somewhere like Kuala Lumpur, or this other city in Thailand, which we may move to eventually, Chumpon, or we looked at Songkhla in southern Thailand. Um, but I realized that, at least for now, it's important that she be near her mother. And I think long term, I will probably build a house that has room in a place I want to be. Bangkok's good, but the air quality is not great, and I want to be somewhere with better air quality. So long term, as in 3-4 years from now, I hope to build a house in Chumpon or somewhere near Chumpon, which is about 5-hour drive south of Bangkok, in case you're wondering, on the east coast of southern Thailand, the Gulf of Thailand coast, and build a house that has room for everybody. Cost of housing here is so cheap that I could build, a large home that has a lot of room. Um, Yeah, 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 and I, there's a lot of other things that I did along the way. I've been going to gyms for 3 years now, and I'm in much better shape. And I got myself a gym membership. We live next to a mall, and there's a Jets Fitness in the mall, and I joined the gym, and I got a year membership, and I got her a year membership, and she goes with me sometimes. Yeah, I don't think there's any natural disasters that hit Thailand. There's no hurricanes, there's no tsunami, there's no earthquakes. Maybe the other side has them, but I don't even think the other side has them. Thailand is this remarkable place. It was never colonized. Wasn't really in the wars. Kind of interesting. Um, don't disappoint us on 8/8/2024. How's the cost of living over there? Thanks, Tabang, for asking that question. So when I went to Japan, and I kind of knew this already, the cost of living in Japan, my cost of living in Japan was roughly half my cost of living in Florida. And when I got to Thailand, my cost of living in Thailand, I wouldn't say it's half my cost of living in Japan, but it's probably less than two-thirds. It's more than half my cost of living in Japan, but not much more. And I will say that the quality of housing in Thailand, it's less expensive and it's higher quality. If you are relatively wealthy, and I don't mean, when I say wealthy, I mean, you're basically a middle class American. I'll just tell this joke. I've told this joke before. Maybe I haven't told it on the channel before. An American man, a European man, whatever, can live on Thailand on $1,000 a month. There's actually YouTube videos that talk about living on $1,000 a month, and I'm going to break it down for you. It really is true. You can live here on $1,000 a month. I'm paying $600 a month for this condo. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in a particularly good location. Not the middle of everywhere, but near a transit stop, next to a mall. The building's fairly new. The building has a 2-floor gym, and we don't use the gym because occasionally we use the gym, but the gym in the mall next door is better. It has an infinity pool on the 8th floor, which we've never gone in. But it's just nice, and I can't show you now, but it's the 36th floor. I have a spectacular view of the Chao Phraya River. Most of the condo buildings in Thailand do not have a view like this, so it's really nice. And $600 a month. But if I was alone and I didn't need a lot of space, and when I'm alone, I don't need a lot of space, you can rent a condo here, like a 1-bedroom condo. It's not very big, 300 square feet, 350 square feet, 30 square meters, for like $300 a month. And that would be not quite this good of a location, but still a nice gym in the building and still a nice pool. And it's different. The transit line isn't as good as the transit. I'm on a major transit line that's like a secondary transit, close to here actually, but there's a building that I stayed in for a week, and it's pretty nice. So $300 a month for rent, and then I can easily eat on $10 a day, which is $300 a month. I could probably eat on $5 a day. I'm serious. I could eat five. Um, I can make breakfast for myself for $1. There's a restaurant that's in the complex, and I got pad krapao with 3 egg omelet and pork and basil on rice for less than $3. Okay, this is like a quality Thai meal for less than $3. Like you'd pay $20 for this in America, $15, $20 for this in America, and I get it for less than $3. So 2 meals like that, I'm probably spending $7 a day. Go to the Japanese place in the mall, maybe spend $5 or $6 for a meal. It's crazy, right? So again, Western man, $300 a month for rent, $300 a month for food, and that leaves $400 for hookers. I don't. Hey, oh, okay. Um, yeah, no, it's crazy, Daryl. I was living in Melbourne, Florida, and if I wanted to live, and I'm in a good location, in a good building. I'm not in some crappy building. I'm in a good location in a good building. I was paying $2,000 a month for a townhome in a not great location. It was a reasonable walk from the beach, but it was just not a bad neighborhood, but not a particularly good neighborhood. Um, and the sushi in Thailand is better than America. It's not as good as Japan, and it's comparable in price to Japan, maybe a little more expensive. So, but if I wanted to live in downtown Melbourne, a good part of Melbourne, and have a 2 bedroom apartment, I'd probably be spending $3,000 a month, and I'm paying $600 a month for this. So the cost of living here is low. Now, living well, living in a nicer building in a more central location, you're probably talking about $1,000 a month for a 2 bedroom. It's not bad. There's a building. I can see it. There's a building that's in my view that's closer to the river. That the condos are bigger, so the 2 bedroom is like 800 square feet. This is 600 square feet, so those are like 800, 850 square feet, and they're like 1,000. They're like a little more than $1,000 a month, and that's like a fancier building with an even better river view. So cost of living here is low. And I routinely take my girlfriend out for dinner. We spend 10, $12 for a nice dinner. Went for sushi. We had, was it 200 grams, which is about a half pound of salmon. That's sashimi, but it's like soaked in like a oil and soy sauce, whatever, with garlic and peppers on it or something. It's like a Thai version of salmon sashimi, and it's like nothing. Um, oh, it's still going up. Stock is still going up. Hey ho, that's right, Laws Newton. How do you manage being distant from all your friends and family at home? So, my parents are gone. My brother died a couple years ago. My mother died a couple years ago. My daughters are pretty independent. I talk to one of my daughters probably twice a month for 90 minutes at a pop. The other one I talk to maybe 15 minutes once a month, and that's probably more than she wants. I'm trying to get them to come visit me in Thailand, and at some point they will. And if they come visit me and spend a week in Bangkok, then I'll probably get more time with them than I would get if I lived in America. And I will visit them in America fairly soon. My expectation is I will be in America once a year, and my kids will be in America, will come visit me once a year. And then friends, um, I'm in touch with people on Facebook. I'm in touch with people in other ways. It depends on the friends, but I'm in touch with a lot of friends, but I don't see them in person. And then occasionally somebody comes to Thailand and we meet up for lunch. Hmm. So Tom Kha Gai is yeah, actually Tom Kha Gai in Thailand I find is not as good as it is in America. It's interesting. Any worries about the US imploding economy? Yeah, I've been worried about the US's economy imploding for a very long time. I think that I may have been a chicken little. I've been predicting hyperinflation for a very long time and it hasn't happened yet, so I don't know. By the way, some ads may pop up soon. Summer Breeze says, will Tesla drop again? I expect Tesla stock to continue to fluctuate wildly. I don't think I could see it dropping below 200 again. I could see it going to 300. I think that this Tesla energy number, if we see continued energy growth going forward. That could be a very positive sign. If we see new vehicles, that could be good. What am I doing for a visa? I was here on tourist visas, and it's very easy to re-up a tourist visa. Basically, you get here if you plan ahead, you get here with a 60-day visa, and then you extend for 30 days, and then you leave the country and you come back and you do another 30 and 30 and 30, and you can recycle 30s. You just leave the country and come back in a few days. Go on a trip. That was the Vietnam trip, was to, you know, come back on a tourist visa again. I'm not kicking myself from doing my sale. I bought my stock back already. So I'm currently on a retirement visa. I was hoping to extend it for a year, but there was a quirk with banking and I had to jump through some hoops. So I will have to leave the country again, do another 3-month retirement visa, and then extend. However, I am hoping to get married fairly soon and eventually get a spouse visa. And then one of the plans is that we will probably, within about 6 months, we will visit the US and spend 3 to 4 weeks road tripping America in my Cybertruck. Rough idea. And then it's a long story, but somewhere in the next 2 or 3 years, we would probably live in America for about 18 months. So that not long term. Long term, the goal is to be in Thailand, although traveling a lot. But the goal would be to get Ploy a U.S. passport, and there's a couple of reasons for her to have citizenship, financially and otherwise, that are important. But we would long term we would be in Thailand. It doesn't make sense to live in America. The cost of living in America is too high. To be blunt, the quality of life here in Thailand is higher than the quality of life in America. I can't be more blunt about that. I mean, as long as you aren't driving around on the traffic fatality rate is high if you ride on scooters and motorcycles and you're pedestrian in the wrong place. But if you ride around in cars, then it's safe. The air quality is low here in Bangkok, but where I want to live, the air quality is better. So, and then when I say the air quality is low, it's not like you're choking. It's just like long term, it's not healthy. Do I have any insight in how Tesla is planning to power their supercomputer? My theory is that Tesla will be deploying massive solar panels at Giga Texas. You mean you can't just walk into Thailand? Amazing. No, an American can show up in a Thai airport and get a visa on arrival. And this is true in many Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Korea. American just shows up. Ideally, you fill out a form in advance and when you show up, you show them the QR code and poof, you're in. Yes, an American can just walk into many countries just by showing up. It's called visa on arrival. If you're going to go to a country, just Google visa on arrival country name and you'll find out if you can. John says it's not 6 months out of the year. I don't know what the question is. You marry in the U.S., does she not automatically become a U.S. citizen? It doesn't work like that. My expectation is that we will marry here fairly soon. We will visit the U.S. and she will get a green card, and then she will. No, you don't. I believe if you marry, whether in the U.S. or elsewhere, she automatically gets a green card. She does not automatically become a citizen. It's 18 months over a 3-year period that you have to live in the country. How do I share the stream without copying the URL? I don't know the answer to that question. Tesla is building a massive GPU cards to power AI. Yeah. Tesla is building a massive complex in southern Texas to run massive AI compute, including inference compute. Currently with the hardware 4 chips for now, and eventually in a year, 18 months, they're going to start deploying the AI 5 chip, which is the next generation inference chip. Yeah, but to Jordan's question, I think Tesla has enough land in Texas that they could deploy a massive amount of solar panels, and that could power most of what they want to do. Usually Americans get 6 months tourist visas in other countries. No, that's not true. Japan, you get 90 days. Thailand, you get 30. I don't know about other countries, but Americans get, now in Japan, you get 90 days, and then you have to leave the country and you can come back and you can get a total of 180 days, which is 6 months. But you can't just get 6 months on a shot in Japan. I think it varies country by country. Does it not make it easier for her to become a U.S. citizen if you marry her in the U.S. rather than out of the U.S., or was that 50 years ago? My understanding is that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So I don't know. I mean, I talked to a lawyer and the lawyer told me it didn't matter. So, the plan, I want to marry her here with her family. It doesn't make sense to marry her somewhere else. Her family is here. My parents are dead. I don't have that much family. She has a big extended family, and I think the wedding marries more to the woman than it does to the man. It will be her first wedding and my second. So, in my opinion, what is the next big catalyst that will fortify Tesla's success? Okay, I don't really like talking about catalysts, but I will say, for long-term Tesla valuation, it's self-driving crossing the threshold to where there's no nag anymore, and we know we're getting close to robo-taxi and maybe seeing robo-taxi trials. And then Optimus doing useful work and maybe being deployed in some meaningful way, because those have such tremendous value. PYGKLB says, my brother-in-law lived in Cambodia, married there. He needed to marry her again in the US to move her immigration forward. He was able to do it via Zoom. I don't think that's an issue. Cambodia is a little bit different. Cambodia is, I visited Phnom Penh to get my current visa, and Cambodia is a clear step down from Thailand. It's a significant step down. Like Malaysia, Thailand, roughly comparable. I think Philippines might be a little bit of a step down, but Philippines has a lot going for it. Vietnam, maybe a little bit of a step down, but not really. Vietnam was pretty comparable to Thailand. Cambodia, big step down. I think Laos also a big step down. Myanmar, even bigger step down. JOR3L, I believe you are correct. It doesn't matter where you marry, as long as you get the 18-month living in the US. The green card may be different in how you get it, but lawyers can't be trusted. I don't know. I talked to a lawyer. He seemed trustworthy. He made sense to me. There's certain hoops you have to jump through in order to get married. There's hoops you have to jump through. My life for the next, year is probably going to be like half paperwork. So, oh, I got a visa. I got a 5-year visa to India for $80, and it allows up to 180 days a year. But I didn't like India, and you can give me as much of visa as you want to Cambodia. I don't want to be there. I think I'm sure that there's ways of living in Cambodia that are worth it, but what I saw in Phnom Penh, no thanks. No, not for me. Like Bangkok is way better than Cambodia. Then Bangkok is way better than what I saw in Phnom Penh. I didn't see all of Cambodia. I'm just saying what I saw. When does Bikini Nomad take over the internet? I have to edit. I have the video clips on my computer. I haven't edited yet. Got so much on my plate trying to get things done. And it's a point of just sitting down and nailing it. So, putting it together. Do I think they underplay the amount of compute and training needed to get hardware 3 to real autonomy? I'm just going to, for fun. No, not that. Damn it. Here we go. I'll just give you one. What do we got? Yeah, no. Let's see. Oh, here we go. No, we got to do another one. We'll do this one. Oh, damn it. All right, it's not going to work. I was going to show you a picture from something that's going to be on the... Maybe I can... I'm sorry if I'm being annoying, but I want to do this, so... Let's go... Here we go. Sorry. There we go. Bikini shopping is hell in Japan. So bikini shopping is hell in Japan, but this is a clip from our experience in Aoshima. Let's do that again. This is in Aoshima, Japan, on the beach. Bikini shopping was not ideal. Surprisingly, how difficult it is to do bikini shopping in Japan. But this is the best we could come up with, and we were kind of lucky to find this one. She didn't bring a bikini with her from Thailand, so future Bikini Nomad videos, there will be better bikinis. And it's the point of the channel is not the point of the Bikini Nomad is not to be focusing on bikinis, but really to talk about nomad life. Siem Reap, Cambodia is night and day to Phnom Penh. You need to go. We may go there. The problem was that I had to go to Phnom Penh and I had to be there for 5 days, and was it really worth it to go somewhere else? I wasn't convinced it was, and I had to wait to get the Thai embassy to stamp something, and it takes 5 days to do it or 4 days to do it. Where was I surprised by the praise Elon and Tesla's been getting from so many quarters? I haven't noticed the praise. Do I think they underplay the amount of compute and training needed to get hardware 3 to real autonomy? They allocate a bigger chunk now of H100s for hardware 4 instead. I don't agree with that. First of all, I don't think they're doing any significant training on hardware 4 yet. I think they're training on hardware 3. Elon said that they have a new model that is 5 times as many parameters that runs on hardware 3, and they are starting to push the limits of what hardware 3 can do, but they're not there yet. Do I think they finally have FSD working then? I think FSD is working well, and there's models that are in the pipeline, and when does it get there? I don't know. Three Body Problem on Netflix might be a good watch. I don't even know what that is. I've heard the name. I don't know what it is. Burning Shorts, yes. So, all right. So just, really quick, I want to go forward on the question, like what does it take for Tesla to move up another level, right? So just to be clear, I have two different options, one for June 2025 and one for December 2025, where the strike price is like 530, 550. So those are out of the money. Those are out of the money unless the stock goes up over, significantly over $500 a share. Robotaxi, once you have a robotaxi trial, I think that game is over. And once Optimus is seen doing actual work in a meaningful way, and there's 100 Optimus doing real work, it's game over. And I was seeing somebody, actually, one of my friends, Trent, talked to me about this idea of like, well, what if Optimus replaces a certain number of employees, and you're able to get a certain amount of work done? How much does that lower the cost of manufacturing the cars? And he made a pretty good case for it. And that's a video that's coming, is me modeling that. How much does it lower the cost of manufacturing? What is the cost of a worker in a Tesla factory? And if you're able to do 3 shifts and replace those workers, and you're able to produce, how many workers can you replace with Optimus? And maybe it's 1,000 workers. Well, how much does that lower their cost? It's a lot. Ken Boone says Warren is the most underrated Tesla pundit. YouTube shadow banned him for 4 to 5 months. I don't think I was ever shadow banned. If I was, I don't think that's the issue. So is it Tesla stocks at 247. I'm sure it's because of me. Yeah. I think so they told us in the Q1, after the Q1 earnings call, that they are bringing forward multiple models. 2 of them will be more affordable. And that means there's at least one more. So I think we're going to see 2 models that are less expensive than Model 3 soon. And then I don't know when we're going to see the van. It makes sense. Personally, I would like to see a replacement for Model X. And I own a Model X. But I would like to see a Model Y based larger SUV that's 2 inches wider and 6 inches longer, that has a legit third row and is much lower cost to manufacture, and sell it for under $60,000. And they sell like 50,000 a year of Model S and X together. It would sell 250,000 a year easy of this model if it happened, maybe even 500,000 a year. So I was shadow banned because I was not capitalizing stunning or shocking titles. Yeah, I didn't say speechless. I bought my Model X in part on Warren's recommendation. Yeah, no, I think Model X is a spectacular vehicle. I think Model S is a spectacular vehicle, but I think if you want to sell vehicles in high volume that accelerate the transition to sustainable energy, you have to sell something that you make more than 30,000 a year of, and that's Model X. It's just they can't make enough money on it. They can't price it low enough to sell it in high enough volume. But if you make a new model, an upgraded Model Y, or an expanded Model Y that's 2 inches wider and 6 inches longer and has a legit third row, I think they sell 500,000 a year at $60,000. Is this a Tesla stock graph or a SpaceX launch? Yeah. It's not that S and X are old. It's just that the cost of manufacturing them is too high. And then their reliability, like Model X has a lot of repairs. It has a lot of warranty repair costs. I don't know why people keep asking this question. Distant Sight says, are you going to buy back the shares of Tesla that you sold recently? I already did. I bought back at 182 and 185 like a week ago. I don't know why people haven't figured that out yet. I told you I sold because I was worried about the shareholder vote. And when the shareholders voted yes, I was going to buy back. And the shareholders voted yes, and I bought back. So I can't believe people have missed that. The X has the best ride, best stereo. It's a great ride. It's Expat is fast. Just letting you know that your 10 Industries Tesla will destroy video from 4 to 5 years ago is one of the reasons for my long-term. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That is one of my favorite videos, actually. If you go back, I think I got like 400,000 views on that video, a few years ago. And I still believe all of that. The airline industry's dead. The lawyers are dead. All the emergency rooms are going to lose a lot of patients because we're going to see no car accidents. Huge, huge. Can't believe you sold before the vote. I sold 20%, less than 20% of what I had before the vote. I bought back after the vote. I don't know why people are shocked by that. I explained it. I was concerned that the shareholders were going to vote no and that would be devastating to Tesla because I thought Elon might leave and then the engineers would leave. And the shareholders voted yes convincingly. We still have issues about what's going to happen in Delaware. I don't trust the judge to do the right thing, but I think the fact that the shareholders gave a vote of confidence to Elon is what we needed. Woodstove Bear says X is a nice car to drive, but it's the ugliest Tesla, vanilla overload. I disagree. I think the X is gorgeous. And I was on a date, one of my first dates that went bad. It was very clear, like 5 minutes in the date, that she was not interested. I didn't check off whatever boxes she was looking for. And I'm walking her to her car after the date. We ended up having a nice conversation, talked about business and stuff. I could just, it was clear that she wasn't interested. And we're walking, and she wrote me off, and like I wrote her off, and we just had a pleasant conversation. I'm walking her to her car. We walk past the X Plaid, and it detects my phone and lights up. And she says, "Is that your car?" The whole tone of voice changed. You can see the calculator in her head going on. She's like thinking about, all of a sudden she's recalculating. So I don't understand, like, what's the big deal? I owned 100% of my assets were in Tesla and I went to 80%. How many of you were 100% in Tesla to tell me that what I did was wrong? You guys are crazy. How old is my fiance? She is in her 30s. I'm in my 50s. The gap is a little more than 20 years. What are my thoughts on the direct-to-cell Starlink launch? I don't think that direct-to-cell Starlink is that big of a deal. It is important if you are traveling and you are in the middle of nowhere and you don't have cell service. The capacity of the network will not be high enough to like replace. You'll use 5G whenever you can because the capacity will be better, and it won't work in a significant way in an urban area because there's just too much demand and the satellites can't handle that much volume. Do I face prejudice being American Caucasian? Positive prejudice. I have not noticed any prejudice here. The amount of bad PR and negative news coming from a few bad apples during the shareholder votes was nuts. I don't blame. No, there's a lot of look. Earl, a frunk puppy, was trashing Elon. Fred from Fred from Electrek was trashing Elon. There was a lot of negative voices. Gary Black can shit on Elon for 4 years, and Lost Gerbil, aka Ross Gerber, shit on Elon for 4. There's a bunch of people who were crapping on Elon for a long time, and I was worried it was going to have an impact, and it turned out it didn't. Could car accident death reduction reverse the depopulation issue? No. No, the depopulation issue is that we need more children. We still need to have enough children to replace people. Emergency medicine isn't going away due to lack of. It's not that emergency medicine would go away, it's that there would be a lot less demand for emergency medicine and orthopedics and chiropractics and neurosurgeons. Car accidents are one of the big drivers of emergency medicine and orthopedics and neurologists and chiropractors, and it will devastate that. It will really reduce that business. How many more children do you hope to? I hope to have 2 or 3 more children. 3 or more. I want 3, 4 more, whatever. I want as many as I can get. What do I think about Beyond and alternative foods? I still think Beyond and Impossible Foods are making good products. I'm a little as I'm into strength training and I focus on the quality of protein that I eat. I suspect that the quality of the protein in vegetables generally is not as bioavailable, and so it just doesn't contribute as much. But I still think it's good food, and I ate plenty of Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers, and I think they're good. I think that people are overreacting to them and think there's something they're not. Green card is not. It's not the green card is not automatic in the sense there's a whole bunch of paperwork to do, but it is effectively automatic. It took over a year and lots of forms to get my Japanese wife a permanent resident. Yeah, I expect it to take time. I agree with that. Only thing that lost Gerber was right. Elon is back tearing up the auto industry. Interesting. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, t-shirts, by the way, the t-shirt, Be Less Wrong t-shirt, elonbits.com. Please check it out. LJ is upset about my comment about vegetables. I'm not saying you can't survive on vegetable protein. I'm saying if you want to do strength training and you want to do as you want to maximize muscle protein synthesis, then animal proteins will do more for maximizing muscle growth compared to vegetables. Yeah, you can disagree with me. I just, I've done my research. And I eat, I don't have a problem. I eat lentils, I eat quinoa, I get vegetable proteins too. But if you want to build muscle mass, and I have successfully added a lot of muscle mass, animal protein matters. I do a lot of whey protein supplement in particular. Do I think Tesla will have a just one more thing on August 8th? It's possible, but I don't think so. I think the one more thing might be a demo of the Robotaxi app. We'll see. Will FSD cars coordinate with each other in the highway to allow optimal traffic flow? I think that will happen eventually, but I don't think it'll happen right away. Yeah, European space industry is in deep trouble. SpaceX is killing it. I'm really excited about next Starship. Next Starship is probably, they might do the catch. The next Starship launch will be insane. If you haven't seen it, watch the Elon Everyday Astronaut. Tim Dodd finally asked Elon about the LEAT engine. We finally got some answer. It's fantastic. Yeah, and the Chinese just tested a rocket and it was supposed to be a static fire and it got away. Like, how the hell does that happen? How do you do a static fire and not keep the rocket held down? Crazy. They're making everybody look like chumps, or everybody's making themselves look like chumps because SpaceX is so good. Why is Wall Street still ignoring Tesla's energy success? A lot of Wall Street analysts are coming around. What is the synergy between Nvidia and Tesla? Tesla buys a ton of Nvidia chips. Tesla and Elon says good things about Nvidia because they're doing great stuff. Best source of proteins is to eat meat, eat muscle to make muscle. Look, you can do your own research. It's definitely possible. There are vegetarians who are successful athletes and who are successful at building muscle, but it's a lot easier if you it's just a lot easier if you eat animal protein. Whey protein powders, whey protein supplements, whey protein drinks, casein protein drinks, and then I eat pork and I eat chicken and I eat, whatever, beef sometimes. I started taking creatine monohydrate again. I think that helps. That's not a protein issue. That's just helps. That's the one supplement I'm taking aside from protein. And I drink a coffee before I go to the gym. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, please watch The Everyday Astronaut. It's a 2-part interview with Elon at Starbase. Brilliant. So, all right, I need to wrap this up. So I didn't want to go more than an hour. We got plans for tonight. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. So I've got to wrap this up. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you to Mark Potocnik. And I think Mark Platt was here. I hope you're feeling well, Mark. So please check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. Please support me on the Patreon platform as a YouTube channel member if you're here on YouTube. On X as a subscriber. I'm doing really well on X. Elon follows me on X now. I think Elon might subscribe to me on X. Elon's been replying to me almost daily. I had a great video I think I did a video here and I published it on X and it did better. As opposed to what usually happens, it did better on X than it does here. That's unusual. So creatine monohydrate, I take it every day now, a little more than 5 milligrams. So 5 grams, not milligrams. So thanks everybody so much. I should be more consistent in doing videos for a while. We'll see. Not on a daily basis, but thanks everybody so much, and we'll say goodbye. There she is. The future. I don't know if she'll take my last name or not, but the future Mrs. Redlick. Beautiful ring, beautiful woman, great dinner, and we have a wonderful future together. I'm really excited. So thanks everybody so much. Thank you for your support. Again, please follow me on X, WR4NYGov. Subscribe there. Become a YouTube channel member. Support me on Patreon. Support me on The Daily Lie. Thanks everybody so much for watching.